We are turning to another story out of the Gaza Strip, something that is really just remarkable. A 21-year-old Yazidi woman has been rescued from the Gaza Strip, where she had been held captive by Hamas for years after being trafficked by ISIS. Fawzia Amin Sido was freed this week in an operation coordinated between Israel, the U.S., and other international actors. Just some background here. The Yazidis are an ethno-religious minority, and in 2014, the Islamic State group overran the Yazidi community in northern Iraq, enslaving thousands of girls and women. Now, Fawzia, who you've been seeing in these pictures here, says that she was initially kidnapped by ISIS when she was 11 years old and then sold off to a Gazan man affiliated with Hamas. She was then trafficked to different locations across several countries, including Syria, Turkey, and Egypt, before being taken into the Gaza Strip. And following her rescue, as you can see this video right here, she has now been reunited with her family in Iraq. Well, joining us now is Yazidi rights activist and philanthropist Steve Maman, who has been nicknamed the Jewish Schindler by some for his actions to free Yazidi women from captivity. So, Steve, first of all, tell us how you heard about Fawzia's story.
Well, Fawzia's family contacted me in around November 2023. She had made a statement, a video to Ruda News, and her family had seen her on TV, and they realized she was alive 10 years after she had been taken away hostage by ISIS. They figured that Steve Maman was a Jewish name that they knew because we've been very active around the Yazidi communities for 10 years. And they contacted me through somebody here in Canada, asking me to intervene and help her get out of Gaza and come back home to Sinjar Mountain in Kurdistan.
Wow. Why did it take so long to get her out? And also, you know, what changed on the ground that made it so that she felt that she would publicize her story?
Our first problem was that she didn't have any documentation in order to travel anywhere. She had been taken at the age of 11 years old without any ID. She was kidnapped. How do you prepare a passport or a travel document for such a person who's in Gaza while she's a citizen of the state of Iraq? It was very difficult and complex. We succeeded at securing a passport in absentia, a one-way laissez-passer, to Jordan. And this is what we used in order to get her into Jordan with the help of the American forces and Israeli IDF as well.
You know, I'm interested to hear, again, though, you know, her decision to essentially post that video and speak out about her plight. What triggered that?
Something took place around November or October, if I recall correctly. Her captor, the brother, had one of her captors had deceased. The IDF had killed him in a battle in Gaza. She gathered her courage because he wasn't around anymore, and she took a phone and she did a TikTok video. And that TikTok video was a call saying, "I'm Yazidi. This is my name. I was taken a long time ago. Does anybody know who my family, where my family is? Is anybody still alive?" And Ruda got word of that video. So it was the result of the IDF action, or else she would have never had the courage to do such a video. And she got abused and battered once the video aired, and Ruda made it a news segment. She was brutally battered for it.
What was it like to see her reunite with her family, and what did she say that she wants to do with her life right now?
It's touching because we were used to these reunifications between Mosul, between Syria and Iraq. We've done 140 of them. We were part in a lot of the rescues for the past 10 years, but this one was different. She was in Gaza. She was far away. Egypt was closed on one side. Israel on the other side does not welcome Iraqi citizens through its territory. It was very complex. It was a long process. It was very difficult. I think that the joy for me was more of seeing her exit Gaza more than her getting reunified with her family. It was a difficult, a tedious process. I have to say it.
How many Yazidi women are still in captivity almost a decade after ISIS started massacring these Yazidi communities? And do you suspect that there are possibly more Yazidi women in Gaza?
We haven't heard that there are other Yazidis currently in Gaza. We did hear from Father Debois out of France, who's been working and with the Yazidi community, the women that were released, that he has testimony of numerous women who were taken by Hamas fighters who went to fight for ISIS. So she's not an isolated case. It is now, I think, proven, and there's testimony to back this up. It's Hamas. We used to try to equal Hamas to ISIS. And I believe strongly that Hamas has done far worse than ISIS on October 7th. ISIS murdered people and moved on. Hamas took time in leaving a horrible scene for us to find, so it would be etched into our memory, and it would have to be celebrated as a massacre, where we would have to commemorate this event, and they would celebrate it as a successful terror event. They have etched themselves into our history through their actions. They are far worse than ISIS. They've proven it.
All right, Steve, Maman, thank you so much for joining us. Really just such a heartwarming story, a ray of light in all of the hard news that we've been covering. And obviously we're thinking about Fauzia and hoping that she's able to recover to the best of her ability following everything that she's endured.
Thank you again.